everyone, welcome back to the channel. I'm Valerie from WordPress. Thanks for joining us. I'm really glad to see you here. With this video, we're wrapping up 2025 and WordPress 6.9 feels like the perfect news break of the season to end the year on a high note. Don't you agree? So, of course, we couldn't set aside. We've already touched on WordPress 6.9 in our News Digest series, but that was more on the theoretical side. Today, we're going hands-on. I'll show you the new features and enhancements in action. I'm excited to put these updates into practice, to try them out, to explore their peculiarities, and talk about real use cases. And that's exactly what this tutorial is all about. So, if you're ready, let's get started. So I've divided the updates into categories to keep this review structured. We'll go through them one by one, starting with editor workflow improvements, changes that focus on how you work with blogs on a daily basis and how the editing experience feels overall. One of the most noticeable updates here is visual drag and drop for blogs. In WordPress 6.9, you now get clear drag handles and a live preview that shows exactly what you're moving. Together, these changes make rearranging blocks faster, more intuitive, and much easier when you're building pages. Let's look at a simple example. If you drag images inside a grid, you'll notice that when you hover over a block, a hand icon appears. That icon tells you that block can be moved, and as you drag it, you see a live preview, and it's always clear where the block will land. So this works for individual blocks, for blocks nested inside other blocks, and even for entire container blocks. No matter the scenario, this new improvement makes the movements of the block clearer and more predictable. However, there is one detail worth noting. Heading and paragraph blocks don't show the hand icon. Instead, you move them using the familiar 6-dot handle in the block toolbar. This is intentional. Having a hand icon directly over the text would interfere with selecting text or placing the cursor. So even without the hand icon, these blocks still fully support drag and drop through the dotted toolbar handle. So to sum up, now we have clearer drag handles, smoother reordering, and better visual feedback while moving blocks. Another useful workflow improvement in WordPress 6.9 is the ability to hide blocks. To find this feature, click the three dots icon and then click Hide. After saving the changes, let's check the front end. As you can see, the section is no longer visible. This works well for seasonal promos, drafts, or experimental layouts. You can switch blocks on and off, and you don't have to delete anything, and even when block is hidden, it still appears in the list view. And that means you always know where it is and can bring it back in any time. This gives you a simple way to stage updates, and you don't have to store drafts elsewhere, and your content stays right where you left it, ready whenever you might need it again. Now let's move on to block level notes. Since 6.9, you can leave comments directly on blocks, reply to feedback, and resolve discussions right in the editor. So how does it work? Click a blocks toolbar, open the three-dot menu, choose Add Note, and leave a note with the suggestion or question. That's it. Great. If needed, you can edit or delete your note. You or your teammate can reply right there, and then, for instance, I want to delete my note. And once the issue is addressed, you can resolve the comment. As soon as you do that, the note is marked as resolved. This works especially well when you're collaborating with a team or reviewing content with a client, for example. So feedback stays attached to the exact block it refers to, so nothing gets lost in emails or messages. And if needed, notes can be responded by adding a new one. And authors automatically receive email notifications when new comments are added. Next up is Command Palette everywhere. You can open it with Command or Control+K. It now works across the entire admin, not just inside the editor. For example, no matter where you're in the dashboard, you can press the shortcut, start typing what you're looking for, and jump straight to a setting or action without returning to the menu and clicking through it. Switching between pages, opening tools, or navigating the admin while working on content is so easy. Just try it. Next comes content creation and typography. This part is all about how content looks and adapts on the page rather than how you navigate the editor. So a nice example here is the time to read block. It simply displays an estimated reading time, which gives readers some context before they begin scrolling. So you can place this block pretty much anywhere in posts, pages, templates, or even patterns. So it's not just for blog posts. It also makes sense on longer pages where it helps set expectations like documentation, knowledge-based content, course or lesson pages, or longer guides. Later in this video, I'll show you another practical way to use it. As for settings, you can choose whether you want to show a reading time range or switch to a word count instead. And as usual, you can style it to fit your layout. Another addition in this category is the math block. It brings LaTeX support directly into the editor, and if you're not familiar with it, LaTeX is the markup language and typesetting system commonly used for technical and scientific content. With the math block, you can display equations and notation with proper formatting. Let me quickly show how this looks in practice. That's why it's especially useful for educational content, technical docs, or any page where equations need to look clear and professional. So, by the way, math can be added either as a block or in line, and it works anywhere rich text is allowed, including tables, headings, and lists. Now for Stretchy heading and Stretchy paragraph blocks, they automatically resize text to fit their container, so headings and paragraphs stay responsive without any manual adjustments. Look, as I type, the text shrinks to fit the container, and when I delete some characters, the letters grow bigger again. So, like other blocks, they come with styling options, styles, text and background color, typography, and more. And if you change your mind, you can easily transform a Stretchy block back to an ordinary one. Now for the Accordion block. This is the new core block, and this is actually a group of 4 nested blocks working together. The main accordion block acts as the container, while each accordion item is the child that holds both an accordion heading and an accordion panel. The heading uses an H3 tag wrapped around a button, so users can open and close the panel, and the panel itself is the container where you can insert any content you want, like paragraphs, images, or other blocks. For example, let's add one more accordion item. So as I said, you can fill the panels with text, images, or any blocks you need. And now watch how clicking the heading opens and closes each panel. As for settings, you can toggle auto close, which automatically closes other panels when a new one is opened. And you can also turn the plus icon on or off and choose its position on the left or right of the heading. And as usual, all the standard styling options are available right at your fingertips. So now let's take a look at the gallery block and its new improvement. In WordPress 6.9, there is a new aspect ratio setting that will allow you apply a consistent ratio to all images with a single click from the sidebar. So an aspect ratio simply describes the relationship between an image width and height. For example, square images use a 1:1 ratio, while widescreen layouts often use 16:9. So speaking about the improvements, let's take a closer look at the cover block. WordPress 6.9 brings support for poster images on video backgrounds, and you can find this option in the block settings under the cog icon. Scroll and then select Set Poster Image, and then choose or upload the image you need. Thanks to this new poster image component, visitors on slower connections will see a static image while the video loads, instead of an empty background. It's a small detail, but it helps the page feel more stable and complete as the video loads. WordPress now makes managing allowed blocks much simpler thanks to a new user interface in the advanced settings of container blocks. To use it, start by selecting a container block. This can be a group, columns, basically any block where you want to control what can be added inside. Next, open the block settings sidebar and expand the advanced section. There you'll find Manage Allowed Blocks. When you click it, the new interface opens, allowing you to choose exactly which block types are permitted within that container. And I want to remind you, before this update, developers usually had to switch to code view and edit block markup directly. Now, in WordPress 6.9, there are two new comment-related blocks. The first one is comment count. It shows how many comments a post has. The second is comment link, which has a clickable link that jumps straight to the comment section. So let's take a look. I opened my single post template and I'll start by adding these blocks. First, the comment count block. I usually place it in the post metadata line next to the avatar and the author name. And as you can see, this is also where the time to read block I showed earlier fits in nicely, and it works well in this area too. Alright, back to comments. The comment count works as a quick visual hint, and it shows readers that a post is active or getting attention, which can make them more likely to start reading or check out the comments. Then there is the comment link block. This one works as a simple call to action. The best place for it is usually right after the post content, where readers are more likely to click and join the conversation. Once it's in place, you can save the template and check how it looks on the front end. One more thing worth mentioning, both of these comment blocks are available across the entire editing experience, not just in the site editor. Traditionally, creating category and tag pages in WordPress has been complex and often required custom queries or workarounds. In WordPress 6.9, there is now a new core block called the Terms Query block. It's designed to dynamically list taxonomy terms such as category names, tag names, or custom taxonomies, similar to how Query Loop block displays posts, but this one works with terms instead of posts. The Terms Query block uses a nested structure. At the top, you have the Terms Query block, and this is the parent container that holds all settings and child blocks. Inside it is the Term Template block, which defines the layout for each term in the list, and conceptually, it works the same way as the Post Template block in the Query Loop. When you insert the terms query block, WordPress asks you to choose a layout variation, either name only or name and count. So within the template, we have term name, which displays the name of each category or tag, and optionally term count, which shows how many posts are associated with each term. This structure gives us full control over how each term is displayed. So by default, the terms query block displays your site's categories. Using the taxonomy dropdown, you can select the taxonomy you want to show, categories, tags, or any custom taxonomy such as project types or tags added by plugins. And from the block settings, you can also control the order in which terms appear. So we can select specific terms. We can show or hide empty terms, enable or disable nested terms. On top of that, we can set how many terms we want to display. The term template block controls how each term appears. And from the block toolbar, you can switch between list or grid views. If you use the grid view, you can adjust the number of columns in the block settings sidebar. The term name and term count blocks can be customized as well. In the term name setting, you can enable or disable linking to the term archive page. And in the styles tab, you can adjust typography, colors, spacing, and borders for both blocks. That's WordPress 6.9. We saw new blocks, better workflows, and useful content features all in action. So what about you? Which feature is your favorite so far? If you found this useful, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and ring the bell so you don't miss the next one. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.